how can ice cream be healthy, right? Like, what did you do differently? And like, will it even taste sweet? Because you are saying it has no added sugar and it has protein. Will it taste as good as a regular ice cream? And our only proposition was try it for yourself, right? And that's what sort of changed the consumer journey for us.
Hi, welcome to Blinkit Pitstop. I'm Albinder. I'm the founder and CEO of Blinkit. Today we are talking to Pashmi and Jash. They are the founders of a wonderful ice cream brand called Getaway. Let's talk to them more about their journey. So when you guys started Getaway, right, like at what point did you feel that we are onto something, like this will work, like we should?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, both of us were like doing full-time jobs, right? And I was in retail, FMCG retail, and she was in fashion retail. We never really thought of doing this full-time until I would say...
It was our side hustle.
Until I would say, I mean, we just got like lucky, I would say. एक दो क्लाउड किचन हमने शुरू किए थे घर से ही, एंड दोस क्लाउड किचन स्टार्टेड परफॉर्मिंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ, मतलब हमारा एक क्लाउड किचन 3-4 लाख की सेल पे पहुंच गया था, विच वाज आवर ओवरऑल बिजनेस सप्लाइंग टू GTMT, एंड आई वाज जस्ट लाइक टू लाइक व्हाट इफ यू कैन रेप्लिकेट दिस like all parts of India. You don't need anything, you just need a freezer, everything is getting manufactured, sent here. So consciously then we thought, okay, we'll give it 6 months, we'll work still full-time, part-time, whatever, but we'll give it our best and then we'll see where it goes. And then opened one more, and then it just made sense to sort of make the switch.
And what really helped us was actually the COVID and the lockdown, because that's when our website orders skyrocketed. Zomato, Swiggy was doing phenomenal in terms of business. And obviously people were at home, they wanted comfort, right? And what better way than ice cream? So that's when we started. We also, in the initial journey, we listened to our customers a lot. Like, you know, our keto products were a function of what
like
our customers told
Pashmi and I know probably like our top 500 customers by name, and we even know their birth dates, maybe like at least 100 or 200 at least.
Yeah, and we talk to them on like a weekly basis.
Very weekly, regular basis.
And it was from them that came around that, okay, we're on a keto diet, like why don't you make keto ice creams? And we were like, okay, let's try that out as well. And again, it picked up.
And this is when we had no clue about, I mean, PMF and, you know.
Yeah, we were just listening to the consumer and getting the product in the
niche
market.
है, बड़ा होगा, market नहीं होगा. It was just listening and then building, that's it.
But like you were talking earlier about changing customer behavior, right? So what is the biggest, like, because you talk to so many customers, what was the biggest friction point for getting them to try a product like Getaway?
So I think access, you know, earlier 4-5 years from now, I don't think, apart from GTMT, there was any other channel, and parlors, of course, standalone parlors, to experience ice cream or try it, or, you know, try it and buy it. So you would have to physically go there, both GTMT. Online just sort of made it very easy in terms of getting it and trying it, and with the offers and with, you know, free delivery.
Outside of the access also, like just behaviorally, why would somebody eat?
Yeah. I think the major...
Like healthy ice cream is what you're trying to get at?
Yeah, like healthy ice cream, or like just your brand that, you know, Getaway.
I think it's more of look good, feel good factors over everything else. I mean, people really want to, you know, have a particular product because they feel, not because it will give you health benefits or functional benefits, because it's aspirational. And identifying that, I think it's always been there since so many years. We played in a niche, in a very, I would say niche in a niche, because we have premium ice cream, healthier. So, I mean, habitually, behaviorally, I feel people want to try in India anyway. They want to try new stuff. They want to, if they see something else, you know, if Pashmi is having this juice, or I think Raw Pressery did that brilliantly also. And we keep talking about that, how can we position ourselves like that.
Basically came through, right?
So yeah, I feel, I mean, Pashmi would say I'm discounting the fact that we built a brand and all that, but yeah.
I mean, majorly, when we did speak to a lot of consumers in the starting, they were all of the opinion that how can ice cream be healthy, right? Like, what did you do differently? And like, will it even taste sweet? Because you are saying it has no added sugar and it has protein. Will it taste as good as a regular ice cream? And our only proposition was try it for yourself, right? And that's what sort of changed the consumer journey for us. also a lot of people who did try it, they recommended it to their friends, to their family, especially when, like, a young person tries it out and then says, okay, this doesn't have any sugar, my parents can have it, my grandparents can have it. So that's when it entered the households of people.
Got it. And sort of, so one is you were doing the side hustle, operating a cloud kitchen, probably illegally. But like, what was that journey like of like actually saying, okay, let's do this full time, and then like, how did you guys make the switch? Because one, you're also like, I think you're unique in the sense that the two of you are related and you're doing this.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
and an important person, our mother, whose original recipe it was, and like she was the backbone when both of us were like working, and she helped us drive the whole operations. So
I think for my dad it was the most difficult to convince him, right? To tell him, "Cha, मेरे को ये ice cream probably like full time करना है." Because the ice cream बेच के कितने पैसे
like our
कमाएगा?
dad was like, you guys studied engineering, you want to sell ice creams now. Like, it was literally that. And why do you want to quit like, a great corporate job and do this? Like, how are you going to manage? So
Pashmi made the switch first, I think.
Yeah, I just thought, okay, like, need to give in your 100% like now, because this is the time. And then I obviously quit my job, and Jash was next to do that.
Honestly, I'm not a big fan of, taking that leap of faith, burning all bridges and going and doing something. I'm very like, want to be very secure, having a really good job in India is very underrated, I would say. लोगों को अभी लग रहा है कि
100%.
Startup कर ले, it's super tough. I mean, if you tell me today, had I known all this back then, so I probably would have made the switch.
And also, it's a very lonely journey as an entrepreneur. Like, you need to do every single thing by yourself. So
yeah, I think that is true globally.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It is always going to be lonely to build. But I think what I like about the statement is this: good corporate jobs in India are actually like much as compared to everything else which is over here, like they're really, really underrated.
Absolutely.
100%.
Right? Like even I feel that कि यार मतलब a lot of the folks that work here, like for them, this is a dream job.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
कि यार, मतलब I get to come to an office and do this.
Yeah.
I was seeing, right, like I think when we graduated, like jobs which are like 5 lakh per annum plus were like दो TP campus में. Right?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're like, अच्छा, मतलब these things are really moved. Like the quantum is higher and the lifestyle is much better.
Absolutely.
Right?
Perks are better.
Perks are better. But so how did you finally make up your mind that this is what needs to be?
So it actually happened when Shark Tank aired and not got shot. So the day Shark Tank got shot, I called my dad and I was like, listen, I got like 1 crore in funding from these 3 sharks and I think this is now time to quit. And he was like, ठीक है घर पे आ जाओ फिर बात करते हैं. And
It's more like a validation to the idea. So
fast forward to like Shark Tank airing, and then our home cloud kitchen had, I remember, 40-45 Zomato riders and 30-35 Swiggy riders 2 minutes within the episode. And everything getting stocked out, and like I'm managing orders. I didn't even see the episode. And the next day morning my dad said, listen, अब तेरे को अगर resignation डालना है तो डाल दे, अब तो तेरे को यही करना पड़ेगा, full time लग रहा है. And I was like, हाँ मैं डाल चुका हूँ, तो notice है अब बस 1 महीने की. So yeah, I think it happened right then, at least for me. Pashmi was almost a year in working alone. That's why she says it gets lonely.
Working alone for which year was this, by the way?
This
21.
was 21.
No, 22 is when Shark Tank aired. But yeah, 21 is when she worked all by herself.
21 is when I was working full time on Getaway. And in fact, we built the website by ourselves. Like, obviously, we didn't have any funding. We were
engineering करी थी
bootstrapped,
हमने,
and we
तो
were like,
coding थोड़ा बहुत.
let's do a little tech here. And we built the entire website. We did hyperlocal deliveries. We managed the entire piece, launched new products in the given timeline. We started off with 6 and then moved upwards. Finally, after Shark Tank aired is when we were like, okay, we need to launch newer categories. And that's when we launched ice cream sandwiches, which was like a super hit. And because obviously the nostalgic element was always there, but they didn't know that it can be healthy as well. So that's how the whole pivot happened. And honestly, it's also got to do with the fact that once people started knowing our story, they believed in the brand more. They're like, okay, it started from like a home kitchen and this journey has gotten you here. Plus, you're available in so many places now.
When you think about, let's say, the brand that you built, right? So you guys have also changed it a little bit. You've gone from Getaway to Getaway,
Yeah.
right? What's the thought process? What's the drive?
Okay, so first, she didn't want to change the name because my ask was that, if you want to widen the TAM, I mean, you have to, go the WAY because not everyone consumes whey. Whey का बहुत stigma भी है India में. Like people don't know how whey is made also, but in fact, my parents would tell me, whey protein का consume करा kidney खराब हो जाएगी, right? So that was like a pure business call, and then she didn't really want to change. But then we made the switch because the earlier the better.
So in fact, a lot of our customers also said, why did you switch from like WHEY to WAY? And then we came around saying that, okay, we don't want to just give you whey, we want to give you way more. And that was the proposition that led to. But it was great that people were noticing all of these changes across media and they were correcting other people. Oh, I think you got the spelling wrong. It's WHEY. So that's when we were like, okay, we've built something solid and now is the time to sort of switch over.
Yes. But when did you change the name?
2022 May.
Yeah.
Is when all our packaging got exhausted and we were like, chalo, ab kar lete hai.
What was the thing that surprised you guys about building like ice creams in India? Like, what was it that you didn't expect to?
So honestly, I didn't expect it to be so challenging just because of the sheer sensitivity of the category. Right. I had no clue about cold chain. I had no clue about how difficult it is to even maintain a dark store. हम घर पे चला रहे थे, सब सही था, SOP मैं करता था खुद तो ठीक था. But then apart from that, I think how I would say how small the category is in terms of consumption. 400 ml per liter per year is the annual consumption on ice creams in India. Compare it to in America, it's 22 liters. Okay, like you factor in everything in terms of they don't have mithai and all that. But still there's way more room to sort of grow. The pace at which that I felt it would grow, surprisingly was way faster than that. And I think again, big role for you guys to play in and Zomato and food aggregators to play in, but it's just grown really, really fast. And it is growing fast.
Also, I feel like 50% of consumer preference is still towards a lot of Western flavors, which we were able to bring in. And like we brought in things that we loved, which came from our childhood. And that sort of resonated with everybody because our target audience was typically millennials and they were of also the similar mindset. More so when we launched new categories, they were very excited. They were like, okay, now what next? What next? And they were willing to try. So that also gave us a motivation to like, okay, let's do more frozen desserts. Let's launch something beyond even ice creams. And I think also the innovation that was played around with, because nobody was doing a high protein, no added sugar ice cream, and people are very receptive towards something new. So I think that helped us,
And I think ice cream is fun, yeah. I mean, who doesn't like an ice cream, right? Of course, on days when you don't have a cold. We've done a whole different video on how cold is not related to ice cream, but everyone loves it, so.
But like, since you guys are so deep in the cold chain part of this, right? How bad is it to build a cold chain in India?
So first, cold chain infrastructure in India needs a serious boost, right? There are still, I think, 80% vehicles, reefer vehicles in India, minus 18 kinds, which still operate on the engine. That immediately needs to change because truck drivers, they don't know what, how sensitive the product is. They'll shut the vehicle off, sleep 6 hours, all of that.
Also, the touch points of handling.
I think again, similar. In fact, for us, it's even worse because we don't add any sugar. So there's no preservative natural binder to hold everything together. So it melts faster than regular ice cream. Cold chain, for us, it was not by, I would say it wasn't by choice. We had to build our own supply chain because हमारा उतना कम volume था, कोई करता ही नहीं था. You go to a Cold Star or like whatever, I mean all these 3PL logistic companies, They would say book one full reefer. One full reefer is 5 tons. 5 ton kaise bheju? Right. So we tried to build that from scratch through train transport a lot in India, using dry ice, thermocol box. And that really helped us not just to do, efficient deliveries to dark stores and other countries, other parts of India, but also it maintains the sensitivity better than reefers.
Got it.
So, yeah.
But like dry ice, how long can it go on for?
So, all depends on how much you add. Typically, we add 20 kgs, 25 kgs of blocks in like one shipment, which is, I would say, maybe 500 tubs or so. Goes on for 72 hours. We haven't really experimented beyond that because we didn't have the need to. Just build smaller touch points from where it can get catered.
And also versus like, the Western countries where ice cream can be couriered, right? That's not possible in India. Like
and that courier happens by dry ice, by the way, in US.
Yeah. So it's like packed in a thermocol with dry ice and like FedEx and everything. Like they just courier ice creams, which most of the ice cream brands in America do. And I feel like we have like a long pathway there. Like we're building obviously the cold chain infrastructure in the country, but yeah, step by step. But I would say for an ice cream brand, like a new homegrown ice cream brand, to enter the category is very hard, which we didn't know.
Yeah, very hard.
We entered, and that's when we realized, we're like, oh my God, like we cannot send it to this part of the country, right? And we learned it over a period of time, and that's how we built our entire supply chain.
Yeah. If you had known it was this hard, you probably would not have entered the category.
Probably wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's how most of us entered the businesses that we are in.
I'm sure, yeah.
Right,
But then that's also a pro, because less entrants in the market. Not everyone will go along the way, build, with the passion that we're building.
Also, I think it's a big function of resilience.
Yeah, absolutely. The founder की journey resilience ही है और क्या है.
कितने थप्पड़ खाते रहोगे?
Yeah.
You still show up.
Customer से, investor से, सबसे.
And in fact, a lot of our deliveries that happen through our website, obviously, and even through quick commerce platforms are delivered handheld, right? So for a consumer, like they're very impatient. They're like, I want it now. And like, why has this person not reached? And the logistics of those things are very hard.
It's not even like conventional like e-commerce. Like
it's not like
food
you courier
businesses, you can courier it to any pin code. Anybody can handle it and give it. For us, the person needs to be identified. उसको पता होनी चाहिए SOP क्या है, उसका standard operating क्या है.
Like there were times when like it was like monsoon season in Bombay, and we were obviously short of our delivery staff, and Jash himself went and delivered orders to the consumers, and he's like, I don't want to give them a bad experience.
करना ही पड़ेगा.
Yeah. So I think 2021 rain season हम भी यहाँ पे बैठे कुछ कर रहे थे.
Yeah.
But in general, so you guys are, what has been sort of the distribution journey that, okay, there's no cold chain that exists, right? So you started with your website and you got something on quick commerce. Did you then go multi-channel, or you still just sticking to?
So I mean, we've tried all channels. Let me put it that way. We started with GTMT, realized this doesn't just need deep pockets, but you need to be in for a long time on that shelf. So that obviously is out of question for us because we don't have that kind of money. What we felt was scalable, and over the next couple of years what we can build is our own dark stores, which doesn't require a lot of space, just like a couple of freezers, one person in the morning, one person in the evening. Quick commerce most definitely. Parlors is something we've explored this year. So conventionally in India, ice cream is आप पार्लर जाते हो डिनर के बाद, या अगर घर पे भी डिनर कर रहे हो तो यू हैव इट, यू जस्ट गो विद योर फैमिली एंड हैव कपल ऑफ स्कूप्स. That has worked really well for us. We explored, I think, bits and pieces here and there, everything, but now we know our deep focus has to be on this channel because we know where the money is going and where the consumers are going. So very focused on building on Swiggy, Zomato as a channel and then quick commerce as a channel. We treated both differently because here handling is, everything is on us. We're managing the ops, here we aren't. And we're building parlors as a channel. So that's largely it for us for the next couple of years at least.
But how's in general, the experience been for you guys working together to build it? Like, what are the roles that you play?
Yeah, so Pashmi first.
So I handle the entire brand and marketing piece, and I obviously look after quick commerce aggregators also as channels. For Jash,
I think I'm more of business, finance, ops, everything else apart from what Pashmi does, and product development. I mean, I know what kind of products we can do in terms of market research and all that, but no involvement in developing it. Right. But yeah, I think mom looks at product development isolated, single-handedly. She has a team, and Pashmi has a team. But yeah, everything else is what I do, which probably is nothing, is what they say. So
probably is.
Yeah.
But so, how do you guys think about, like, now you're opening parlors as well, right? How do you think about like brand building now that you're basically going out? Like, what do you invest behind when you're like investing in the brand itself? Like, ठीक है, packaging हो गया, like
Yeah.
you can feel.
Yeah.
BAU, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
But what is it that you guys are looking to invest behind to build the brand? Like parlors.
I think parlors is the one. Omni-channel tangibility is like a very big driver for us. We've seen where we've opened parlors. So first we've opened parlors where our cloud kitchen sales was through the roof, and even if we open a parlor having whatever rental, it would survive purely basis the cloud kitchen business. Parlors, when we explored, we saw one very interesting insight that when you're closer to the customer, you're listening more. You know what's working, what not working, etc. Because we don't get data from aggregators as such. It really helps build the recall, top of the mind. And when the customer goes home and he sees the same thing on Zomato, Swiggy, or whatever, Blinkit, that choice of trying or whatever buying happens much faster than it would if we didn't have a brick and mortar or we didn't have a physical presence. And again, like I said before, categories such that traditionally it's been driven by going out, having an ice cream. So we saw that big shift happening, and that cloud kitchen also increasing its own business after the parlor opening. Plus, you want to try ice cream, right? You just want it's something that is tangible in itself. So that for sure, and
I think the interesting thing is we started with GTMT, but we've always been a digital first brand. Now, to bring the brand experience to the consumer could only happen at a parlor level. So we thought, okay, let's start out. We started our first store in Goa, and we wanted to give the consumers an experience of a healthy ice cream bar of sorts. So the concept was on the lines of you walk in, you taste your ice cream, you make it your own, where you can pick the scoop of your choice. You have a display of toppings. You can add unlimited toppings to it. You can ask the server to add a sauce of your choice. And that's your own customized ice cream that you would like, which is what most people want to be involved in, right? Like they want that level of brand engagement. And we were able to do that in a more, I would say, a guilt-free sort of a space, right? Which nobody else is doing.
And we don't have any sort of communication going out, except if you look closely in the menus that it's guilt-free and all that. Because we want the consumer to experience it standalone as it is, like an ice cream parlor. And then on top of that, once you're done with the billing, we just tell you that, it's sugar-free and it's high in protein, it's low in calories and all that. And just seeing that delight sort of takes it off.
Why Goa for the first parlor?
Yeah, this is, something which was... Location plays a very important role in ice cream because 90% of your business is coming after 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Subah kuch nahi hota, like barely anything. Goa particularly, we had this cloud kitchen which was performing super well, and we thought, Goa mein achhi ice cream bik rahi hai, so let's just explore that space. And we went down and just happened to be by the beach, and
Goa, you just happened to be by the beach.
And this place also, it was like very decently located in Panjim, next to Miramar Beach. The street has all kind of different QSR brands.
It's a very high footfall area.
Very high footfall, natural footfall. And there was this sweet looking spot, and we were just like, listen, what about like this space, and why don't we open it here first? I was just by looking at that space and just things getting added up. Sometimes, as a founder or entrepreneur, you don't think much and you just feel, let's just go ahead.
Right,
yeah. And then we did that and super successful. And we were just like, let's do more of these. So then we opened one more in Goa, in South Goa. then one in Pune, one in Mangalore, one in Udaipur, one in Jaipur. We haven't touched metros yet, largely because we wanted to do something low rental, low OPEX, see how it works. It was something new, did phenomenally well. Now we plan to open 30 more stores in the next 6 to 12 months, right before next summer. So yeah, it's been a crazy journey, and that's something completely out of, I mean, what we do individually or what we are good at. We don't know retail.
At
We
all.
didn't know anything about it.
Ironic because you guys are working in retail before this.
So I mean, I was pure play FMCG. She was absolutely retail, but it was always at the back end, right? Marketing or data or things like that. Not on the floor. It's very different, super different.
And also, like, to open like a restaurant or a cafe, it just requires a different level of skill set. And I think everything is so operation led, and the consumer journey is very different. Like, you need to think about the user flow when they enter the store. So all of these things happened to come to us versus like, we have a packaged product and we need to sell that.
Yeah.
And I would say this is easy.
Yeah,
You build products.
It's different. They have different mental models, right?
Yeah.
Somebody had given me this very cool analysis of different kinds of businesses. That there are the businesses which require you to wake up every day and do the work.
Exactly.
It's like retail is that business.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the shop needs to be open.
Yeah.
The floors need to be cleaned.
Yeah.
All of this needs to
Exactly,
be followed. Right. Then there are like product development businesses.
Right.
Where essentially you're building in bulk, and then it is all about distribution, and you're just always innovating on whether you can distribute better, cheaper, faster. Can you innovate, which leads to all of that cycle. Those businesses are not you get up every day and you have to do it.
Exactly.
But they are businesses of like creativity, branding, like all of this stuff. And actually, their answer was key. It is much harder to build the second, right? But even though it is harder, it is also harder to maintain the second.
Yeah.
Because your moats are nothing but your brand, which could be a very strong moat, but it also doesn't take that long to
Absolutely, I think both have their own challenges, and I mean we only come from that thought that GTMT was a conscious choice we will not enter because we don't want to build the distribution, right? We chose I would say the less tough way, not the easier way, by building cloud kitchens, and that sort of became the cash cow for us to even explore parlors as a business. So both has different set of challenges, and I don't think we can ignore both. So we have to constantly build on both and live with it.
No, I think the most underrated challenge in operating businesses like cloud kitchens or dark stores thing is attendance, which nobody worries about. Nobody tells you before you start a business dude, you're going to spend half your life just worrying about attendance.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it's literally like, you snooze, you lose. You have to be there constantly.
Let's talk about it in the context of behavior change kar rahe ho. Do you actually find celebrities to be effective?
So Pashmi should take that because she
Is
chose
it politically correct
she
answer
chose Malaika, and honestly I was okay with anyone because we just closed our $2 million funding and we were like, let's get a celebrity on board, let's get whoever.
Also because none of the homegrown ice cream brands had a celebrity, so we were like, we need to do this now. It's going to be too late if we do it later, right? So with Malaika, it was a natural fit, right? With fitness and health and the fact that she loves food. It just went with our brand really well. Plus, she added the whole glamorous angle to the brand, which we wanted people to obviously know about. When we approached her, we obviously spoke to her from the perspective of getting her on board as a brand ambassador, but she already consumed our brand multiple times before. She knew about us even before Shark Tank, and she said, I want to get on board as an investor too. I just don't want to be a brand ambassador, and I believe in you guys and I believe in your product. And that's when the whole thing changed and she got on board as an investor, which is where you see celebrities add more value. Because sometimes what happens is you just have an 8-hour shoot day with a celebrity and you have an X number of deliverables. and they just tick them off because they're the brand ambassador and they get away with it, literally. And with her coming in, she obviously adds more value. She does far more than what is expected of her, right? A simple example of this is, she was on a flight and we were doing something special for like Vistara, and we did this whole new product, and she happened to have that product, and she just clicked a picture and she put up on her social media, and everybody's asking us that, where can I find this product, like, in retail and like on other channels, and we were like, this is just for like airlines. So that extra, effort that she brings in as an investor too, I think that helps us, make like better leaps, plus the sort of network that she's in, right? Like our consumers are also in the same target audience. Like these are health conscious people who obviously want to eat that food, and they want to make better choices. And that's when her network also helps us amplify our brand better.
So I've been a big believer, by the way, in product speaks product. I mean, product speaks brand and builds brand. And I sort of discount marketing as a function because I feel marketing kuch nahi hota. And you can't build a brand with money, right? 5 saal, 10 saal. It's a long journey. So for me, it was always कि चल ले रहे, चलो FOMO में ले रहे. But it worked out to be way better than I thought.
Why do you think that is? Just because of the extra effort, or do you think in general there is?
I feel, starting up, or at least till you've not hit like for me, that number is maybe 200-300 crore. That defines your PMF, and you can build for masses thereon. Till that point, it is all about product building, and don't get lost in the whole glamour bit, right? And a lot of brands do that, and I was part of a lot of celebrity campaigns when I was with Future Group. And I saw that 200-300 crore करने के बाद भी celebrity angle didn't kind of help. Like there was a very little sales blip happening, wasn't measurable. So I just felt if you're focused on, doing something that you're good at, and which is product, and I still feel is product, just focus on that. Distraction hai thoda, I would say.
Distraction, right? But you think it is worth it?
Now definitely, yeah.
I think it's worth it with the combination that we have. I would say not otherwise, because again, I've also worked with fashion brands, and we've had Ranveer Singh, and he's still with the brand that I was working with. And it's always that expectation of an uptick in sales every single time a campaign is launched. But that's,
in the end, to wahi hai na.
Yeah, and that's also a function of how much media you're spending, right? So
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, you had this debate internally a lot of the time. But
what do you feel though?
So I think the pressure for us was back in the day 2015. I think Big Basket got Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah.
Right, and then it was like we were the only other grocery player left, and we did not have a brand ambassador, and we never got one either. So see, for us it's very different. There you have a touch and feel product. So for us, the experience is in the service.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So no matter what our ad campaign says or what our brand says,
to justify.
Right. At the end of the day, the rubber will meet the road, whether you reach the doorstep in 10 minutes, the stuff is in good condition, all of that. Right. So the experience itself for us is that is the moment of truth.
Right.
Right. And we've realized that like you can't actually convince people to try the experience no matter what you say
without trying.
Exactly.
Right. It is much better for us to like figure out ways in which to just get people to try. Right. So for us, almost all of our effort, at least for the last couple of years, has purely moved away from all of the brand. Do we need
all of the noise to the real work?
Yeah, just focus on one thing and keep doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And hopefully that works out. But that's what works for us because we're a service.
Correct.
Right. The proof of the pudding is in everything coming together and you getting that magical experience.
True.
I think हमारे लिए तो वही होता है कि if you as a customer order from us and it comes in like 8 minutes or 7 minutes.
Yeah.
मतलब मैं कोई भी celebrity डाल दूँ, that is just going to be a wow experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? And saves us some of the media spends and all of that stuff as well. But like, so because you guys raised capital as well, right? Why the decision to sort of work with biryani by kilo and like actually work with Vishal? And like,
So I think Shark Tank happened around last year, Jan, and we were very clear that we need to raise because we need to build these dark stores. Purely dark stores, not for marketing, not for product building, not for factory setup. It's just to build dark stores. We wanted to be available everywhere. हमें पता था कि यहाँ पे demand है. Plus quick commerce was growing faster and quick commerce put us in like 20-25 cities that quarter and the following quarter. So it became sort of inevitable to be there also standalone because less SKUs in quick commerce, more SKUs if we build our own dark store. The money required to build a dark store for our category and the kind of numbers unit economics wise one dark store would do, and first it wouldn't be profitable because we are selling only ice cream. It has to have something else to sort of compensate for that OPEX. So then we thought, okay, let's
probably because the selling window is small,
very small, and very seasonal hai, very late night delivery specific, very dinner time, whatever. So having all of that in mind, constantly for me it was purely ki you partner with a guy who has cloud kitchens, and that guy just scales, and that guy has 200 cloud kitchens. You put your freezers in 200 cloud kitchens. How much space does a freezer require? The same person who's making food can easily give the order out also, which doesn't require any preparation. So that was very clear ever since we got the Shark Tank airing bit, and we spoke to a lot of investors. Fast forward to meeting Vishal. I met him to put kulfis that we were launching in biryani by kilo menus. And he happened to be in Bombay and he said, let's catch up. And then all of a sudden this meeting happens where Kaushik, who's the CEO at BBK, and Ritesh, the CEO, all of them are there. And, they're like, listen, we want to, sort of give you money. Put your product in our menu, no problem. But we want to give you money, we want to give you access. And we truly believe that, a healthy dessert brand can do well with this partnership. It was always there back of our heads. So it was a simple, I would say, decision to make in terms of, okay, we can explore this. And then having explored others also in this space who are running multi-brand cloud kitchens. Biggest reason for us not to do it with larger players than them who had access to 300-400 cloud kitchens also was that they had 30-40 brands. We didn't want to get lost in the mix. कि हमने नहीं perform करा, cloud kitchens पे focus नहीं करा. So they may drop us, right? And very easy. We'd seen a couple of brands going that route and sort of just not being present anymore. With them, we had access to 80 cloud kitchens overnight. We had to plug them in. It took us 2 months to plug it in everywhere, freezers, SOPs, this and that. And that partnership just played really well because they were a single focus brand. They were building biryani for India and the world. And we wanted to build, healthy dessert for the world. Ops wise, cost wise, funding wise, money to chahiye tha, paisa to I think is inevitable to sort of scale. So it checked all boxes and just felt like the right partnership. Took us 4.5-5 months to sort of go through the deal,
and
investment agreements and SHAs and SSAs.
So when we've had that experience, and we're like, okay, we need to do it again now.
So we're building constantly. There's demand which we are trying to cater to, and then there's this other thing happening on the side which is going to be 10x of what we do today. So yeah, that just happened over the past 4-5 months.
So now you're in most of the
So now we are in 80 cloud kitchens, and Biryani by Kilo has almost over 100 cloud kitchens. 20 of them we consciously haven't put it there yet because they're largely tier 2, tier 3 also. Right. We feel there's a lot of work to do here. Apart from this, we've also built 45 cloud kitchens of our own, which is basically partnering with individual restaurants or cafe owners, or just pure, choti si jagah le li, 100 square feet space, and then we're building from there. So for us now, it's like 140 cloud kitchens pan India, covering like 40 cities, and quick commerce has put us in more cities than that.
Nice.
So yeah.
How deep do you think this goes?
So there are players who have demonstrated it, like Naturals in India, Quality Walls. They're probably present in Way more cities for sure, but
The quality wall scale is
quality walls तो आप हाँ मतलब even if you count that out and if you look at the premium players, Baskin or maybe 850 stores Baskin has penetrated into every sort of corner of T1, T2. तो room तो बहुत है.
Also,
to sort of
surprisingly, it was this year when we expanded into more tier 2 cities, and the response has been phenomenal. They're very open to trying new brands, and
In fact, there is less, competition.
Less
and all
competition
that
also there,
So it just makes easier. But I feel 300 cloud kitchens, 350 cloud kitchens is what NIC has done by far. Being the sort of the leader in this kind of space right now, digital first, I would say. So easily that much.
Yeah, I would think this will go deeper.
Yeah.
I feel.
And with quick commerce and that sort of fueling it, I think way deeper than that. और हमारे लिए काफी easy हो गया ना, because I don't have to open a dark store just to test waters now. Now I can just put it in a Blinkit pin code. चल गया तो हम खोल देंगे.
Actually, like one of the casualties of us not onboarding brands has been that recently. लोग टेस्ट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं कि यार मुझे इधर करना था.
Right.
Yeah.
We actually got a lot of requests for people who are trying out something in GT and they want to launch that product on quick commerce to see whether there is a flywheel effect.
नहीं वो तो नहीं होता.
कह रहे हैं कि होता है कि मतलब GT
basically they want to test the product market fit with quick-com.
No, so what they're doing is कि यार ये product हमने GT में डाला और अगर GT में चल रहा है तो वहीं पे quick commerce में डालो.
Okay.
और वहाँ पे चल जाएगा.
No, it doesn't work the other way around, but
क्विक कॉमर्स में डाल दो GT में चल जाएगा.
I feel quick commerce में अगर चल गया तो there is good enough PMF because है लोग खरीदने वाले तो then you can explore GT, but I still feel there's a lot of brands going the omni-channel route, choosing GT/MT without knowing how
hard
I think
hard it is.
It is also hard times right now, right? Like people need
course.
growth avenues.
Of course.
It's not